This week's PARSHA is PARSHA Shemos, and we all know at the beginning of the PARSHA, Paroi gave out a gzeira to kill all the sons that are born, and he saw that it didn't work. He said, throw everybody, even the mitzvim, throw them into the yam. But the first gzeira that Paroi gave was a gzeira that the mialdos ivriyos, the Jewish midwives should go ahead and should kill kol haben, every son that's born. PARSHA means they should go ahead and kill every single son that's born from Bnei Yisrael. And of course they didn't listen, and then Paroi changed the gzeira. Now it says, the pasuk says that since the mialdos, the midwives, did not go ahead and kill the boys, there was zeicha to vayasluhem batem, says Rashi. There was zeicha to bate kahuna, bate levia, bate malchus. They got a very nice schar for what they did. And the obvious question is, why did they deserve such big schar for what they did? What were they told to do? To kill children. You know, there's a din in the Torah. There's 3 averos chamurais. It's yarag val yavar. If someone tells you to kill somebody, the halacha is you're not allowed to listen. You have to let the person kill you. It's yarag val yavar. One of them is ritzicha, to kill somebody. So the mialdos, the midwives, they did something so special. They did what they were supposed to be doing. They were told to kill people, and they didn't kill them. And they gave up their lives, maybe, there was a suffix if Paroi was going to kill them or not, in order not to kill the children. So what was so great about what the mialdos did? What was the great accomplishment that they had, that Hashem gave them, bate kahuna, bate levia, and bate malchus, because of that? Did Akasha bother anybody?
I didn't lose the sleep over it, but I thought about it.
So,
I forgot to mention this one.
yeah.
Moshe Boaz and Chaim Yosef, my son-in-law's brother's yortzeit is today.
Moshe Boaz
Ben Chaim Yosef.
They saved the Nefashot Israel.
Yeah, but
it's a very big deal.
It's a big deal, but the question is, that's if someone does a mitzvah, or someone does what he's supposed to be doing, why are you doing so much effort? If anybody would have been told to kill somebody, or get yourself killed, they would have to get themselves killed. So the Maharsha speaks about this question. Maharsha in Sanhedrin. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says that Bnei Noach are Metzuva. Bnei Noach, Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach. One of them is like Tzirtzach. They're not allowed to kill. The Tzirtzach is also for Bnei Noach also. Says the Gemara in Sanhedrin, on Zion Amud Beis, the Gemara says, Af al ubrim, even on a uber, on a fetus, there's Mesuva, they're not allowed to do Ritzicha. My time is Rabbi Shmuel, the Chsiv, Sheifech dam ha'adam ba'adam dama yishafech. Sheifech dam ha'adam, if someone spills a dam of a person, be'adam. What's the lashon be'adam? In a person? Sheifech dam ha'adam be'adam, dama yishafech. Eizu adam shehu ba'adam. What does it mean? A person who's in another person? Havayme ze'uber shebemeya imoy. That is a child, that is a uber, a fetus in the womb of its mother. That's what the Gemara says. Says the Mashah here, a very interesting thing. This is said by Bnei Noach. It says in the Gemara, Rabbi Shmuel learns out, Bnei Noach, they're not allowed to kill a person, and they're not allowed to kill an uber. A fetus also is awesome. How about Klal Yisrael? Is there an issa for Klal Yisrael? Not Bnei Noach. Bnei Yisrael, is there an issa for them to go ahead and kill an uber? We'd say, of course, if Bnei Noach is.
For sure.
So it says Tosfos, there's a Gemara later on, Nun Ches Amud Aleph, and please don't pass on anything until the end of the shir. Tosfos Nun Ches Amud Aleph says that the Gemara in Sanhedrin goes through everything that Bnei Noach and Mesuva on. The Gemara says, Lekam midam de Yisrael shari. There's nothing that for Klal Yisrael is mutter, and for Bnei Noach is asur. We don't find anything that B'nai Noach,
Isn't it one thing?
that for Klal Yisrael is mutter, and for B'nai Noach it's also.
We do have it, no?
What?
Is it Ben Pekua?
No. No,
What am I thinking of?
something that Klal Yisrael is mutter and Noach is also. The only thing you find is, the Gemara goes through a few things. One of them is Meferechas. Meferechas is when you shech an animal, while the animal is still alive, it's still kicking around, Meferechas, the halacha is we're allowed to eat it. Because for us, shchita is not an animal. B'nai Noach, they have an is even menachai. The animal is still considered alive. They're not allowed to eat it till after the animal is dead. That's one thing the Gemara says, but the Gemara says it's not a right from there because we're also not allowed to eat it. Maybe a time period that we're not allowed to eat a live animal. We have the heter quicker than them, but it's not called midli that's mutter for us and also for them. So Taisus brings down two cases that it's also for it's mutter for us and it's also for them. One is, says Taisus, Goysha Shabbos Chayiv Misa. The guy that's Shabbos to keep Shabbos is Chayiv Misa. And we forget we have to keep Shabbos. Do the opposite. We have to keep Shabbos. We saw mitzvah. So says, we have the mitzvah of Shabbos. It comes out differently. We have to keep Shabbos, and they are not allowed to keep Shabbos. But it's both the same Shabbos, whether you keep it or not. Right? They're chayiv misa for keeping it. We're chayiv misa for not keeping it. Then Taisus says another case. While the ubrim, on an uber, which is a fetus, the oivik kechavam chayiv, Yisrael potter. Oivik kechavam is chayiv, but Noach chayiv, like we had more before, the Zayim with Beis, Goyim are over on my sirtzach when they kill the fetus, and B'nai Yisrael is potter.
Are they chayiv misa to kill it?
They chayiv misa. They chayiv misa. And for Klal Yisrael it says potter. There's no chayiv misa if a Ben Yisrael kills a fetus. It says Taisus, but kamakayim loy shari. Even though there's no chayiv misa on it for B'nai Yisrael, but kamakayim loy shari, it's not mutter. You're not allowed to do it. And we'll get to that in a second. What's the isser? We'll get to this whole abortion question. Where does the isser come from? But definitely B'nai Noach, everyone agrees, the Gemara, that B'nai Noach to do an abortion, that's chayiv misa. Klal Yisrael, we'll get to what the issue is in a second. So says the Mashah, V'zeh amarti l'yashev PARSHA Shemos. Now the Kasha PARSHA Shemos, the diktik akostas la'achar le'emor, ve'em melch mitzayim yaldis ivriyos. That Parah told the yaldis ivriyos to go ahead and kill all the boys. Why did he go to the ivriyos? Why didn't he go to the mitzviyos? Why did he come on to the Jewish women, midwives, to kill the children? Why didn't they go to the mitzvah midwives? That they may have listened.
You kill the Goyish.
But they wouldn't know.
No, they killed the Jewish. So, see, they wouldn't know what they're expecting.
Right.
So the Mashal says, they were expecting. They see them walking around pregnant.
They all knew and expected. Look at Moshe Rabbeinu.
Yeah.
That's why they were going to go the ninth.
Yeah, the Mitzvah knew. The Mitzvah knew exactly when everyone was pregnant. Parah definitely didn't go ahead and say kill them after they give birth to go ahead and kill them. Says the Mashal, Parah told the Jewish midwives, kill the ben before it's born, when it's still an uber. So he couldn't go to the mitzvahs because B'nai Noach are chayiv misa on that.
But how do you know if it's a ben?
So says the Mashal brings a raya to it. Says Mashal, bring you a raya that Parah told them to kill them before they were born. What's the raya? There's a Gemara in Saita. The Gemara has a Saita that when Isim al Avnoyim, so they see them on the Avnoyim is where they gave birth. So on the birth stools they call it Isim al Avnoyim. Says the Gemara in Saita, what does it mean Isim al Avnoyim? Simin Mosel Lahem. Parah gave to the midwives a simin. One simin was to know when they're about to give birth. The sea says that when their feet are a certain shape, they're about to give birth. And another siman is if it's a boy or if it's a girl. He gave them a siman. Panav lamata, it's a zachar. Panav lamayla, it's a nekeva. Whatever that siman means. But the Gemara says, Simin Mosalam, Para gave the midwives a simin to know exactly when they're giving birth and when it is. Why do they need a simin for? When the baby is born, go ahead and kill the baby. Why did Para have to give them a simin? You should know when they're giving birth and you should know if it's a zachar and a keva. What do you mean know if it's a zachar and a keva? Because no, the second the baby is born, they can check. Let's see if it's a zachar and a keva. Why did Para have to give them a simin if it's a zachar or if it's in the keva? Says the Mashah, it's a raya, that when Pari told them to kill the Zecharim, he didn't mean to kill them after they were born. He meant to kill them before they were born, while they were still inside the mother's stomach, and he gave them a siman how to know. That's what the Mashah says. Says the Mashah that that's why Pari couldn't go ahead to the mitzvahs and tell them, go kill them, because they weren't allowed to. B'nai Yisrael were allowed to. B'nai Yisrael, there's no Isser, there's no Chiv Misa on abortion.
So how do you get around the fact that after, when it didn't work for the boys, you also start killing the Egyptian boys too?
A good question. It's a very good question.
Is there an answer?
No, because the truth is, Pari was telling certain people, right, the Miyalbais, to go ahead, and they had to listen to him to go ahead and kill the Ubrim. Later on, he said, anytime you see a child, throw him into the water. He was hoping people will listen to him. That's what the Mashal says. It's interesting. I've seen a lot of Torah said about this. That's what Pari thought. So what did they think? So the Bnei Yisrael, the Miyaldas Ivriyos, they went ahead and they didn't kill the Ubrim. Why did they kill the Ubrim for? They're allowed to. And we know there's a klal that if there's a mitzvah in the Torah that's not Yeharag Val Yavar, right, that's any mitzvah besides the three mitzvahs that are Chamurais, a mitzvah in the Torah, it's not Yeharag Val Yavar. Are you allowed to go ahead and be Yeharag Val Yavar? You're not allowed to. So if there were mitzvah of Yeharag Val Yavar, how did they go ahead and put themselves in sakana? Right? That's a question they ask. And I've seen it where the Torah said that Pari thought this way, and the Ivriyos thought that even though the Bnei Yisrael didn't have a din of Bnei Yisrael told Matan Torah, they only had only for Matan Torah, on that din of Bnei Yisrael, Pari argued on that. I've seen so much Torah already about lumbus between Pari and the Ivriyos, and the question is, can you say that? You do find in the Sfarim they say a lot that Pari thought like this, and Moshe argued this way, Yisroi, and then talking about sugis, shver sugis and shas, to say that Pari said something because of the shver sugis and shas is hard to understand it. But they go through it, they say it.
Are you going on that the midwives were Jewish or not Jewish?
They're Jewish. Yeah, that's Ivriyos.
What do you about that?
If the Bnei Yisrael are Jewish, yeah.
If the Mialdos were even Jewish, if Shifra and Pur were Jewish,
well, they were Yocheved and Miriam.
Yeah.
There's machos about that.
It says Ivriyos.
But I saw on the Rabbi that reads it differently.
They weren't Jewish
they
even.
Weren't Jewish.
Okay. We're going after Jewish.
Mialdos, okay.
We're going, maybe Pari held like the Barbanel. I don't know.
I'm saying, they refused.
He said he knew that
They didn't do it. They refused. How come he didn't punish them?
Yeah, so he says he asked them, and they answered that we tried, but they already gave birth before we came to them. That's what the pasuk says. So when they came to Ma'aseh, they said that we tried to do it, but they already gave birth before we got to them. So that's what the Mashah says. Mashah says that that's why Pari went ahead and told the Ivriyos and didn't tell the Mitzrayos, because the Ivriyos didn't have that din of the not allowed to kill an Uber. That's what the Mashah said. Interesting shot. But one thing you see from the Mashah says that they were there to kill the Uber and not after the child was born. But let's move on. So now that we have this foundation that Bnei Noach are osir to kill an Uber. That's, everyone agrees. It's the first of tomorrow. If someone goes ahead, a Ben Yisrael, who helps a Bnei Noach, a guy, any guy today, to do an abortion, the Oivan, the Flaniva. According to Rashid, there is no Flaniva by Bnei Noach. So if anybody helps Goyim do an abortion, it's a short answer. You help me over the Flaniva. How about Klal Yisrael? Pesach says Klal Yisrael is potter. There's no issue. There's no Yarg Val Yavar on abortion. Oh, so we'll get to that in a second. And Taisa says, even though it's potter, but lo shari, it's not muti, you can't do it. And the question is, what does it mean? Why not? What's the issue of abortion today. So a lot said about it. I'm going to tell you the two PARSHA to Mahalchim. There's the Tzafnas Paneach says, the Rogat Shava says, that the Isser of abortion today is an Isser Ritzicha. It's a regular Isser Ritzicha, and he brings a raya. It says, how could the Miyalos Ivriyos have not listened to Paroi? How would they moist in Nefesh? It's Yavar Val Yaharoig. He says, no, for sure there's Yarag Val Yavar, even on an Uber. Even on an Uber, there's a Yarag Val Yavar. So what does Taisus mean? It says all Taisus means is that by an Uber, Bezdin cannot give the death penalty. If someone kills an Uber, Bezdin cannot go ahead and give the Chiyav Misa for an Uber. But the regular Ritzicha there is. But that's the Rogat Shava's Mahalach. A few people go with that there's a regular Isser Ritzicha on an Uber, but Bezdin cannot go ahead and be Mechayiv Misa.
What's Uber?
Uber is a fetus. Bezdin can't go ahead and be Mechayiv Misa. That's one shot. And the big Rai from the Rambam is a famous Rambam. The Rambam says that if a lady has a fetus and she's in sakana because of the fetus, so what do? This is a question comes up a lot of times, and it's all the places speak about it. And they all bring the Rambam. The Rambam says that if a lady is in childbirth, which is a very common thing, today's Baruch Hashem, it doesn't happen as much, but in those days, ladies in childbirth a lot of times wouldn't make it. So they had a choice. The ladies in childbirth, they could take out the child in pieces, kill the child, and save the woman. So what do? You
save the woman. So
the halacha is, you save the woman. Says the Rambam, why? The Rambam doesn't say you save the woman. Now let's think about it a second. If to kill an Uber is Yiharag Vayavar, so who says you have a right to kill the child, save the woman? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So you have the halacha of my chazi, the David Chas Samik Tvei. What right do you have to save the mother's life and kill the Uber? There's no right to do that. Says the Rambam, you know why you're allowed to kill the child? The Rambam says, the kid has a din of a roidif. That means because of the kid, the mother's going to die. And if someone's running after somebody else to kill somebody, the halacha is, you kill the roidif. Even though, who says who's better? Says no, roidif automatically, he's the one who gets killed. And there's a lot said about this. What I mean is, roidif, he's not doing it purposely, it's not up to him. But not get involved in that. But you see from the fact that the Rambam says it's a din of a roidif, what does he have to come on to that for? Why didn't he say Pashut? You know why he saved the mother? Because the mother is a karas nefesh, b'kuach nefesh. B'kuach nefesh is like all mitzvahs in the Torah. So why isn't it just because of b'kuach nefesh you save the mother? The Torah says, how are you saving the mother? Through killing an Uber. Yiharag Vayavar. So Yiharag Vayavar. So Rav Wozner in one of his shuvas goes to the Shaila came to him, such a Shaila. And he says like this, he says, at the end of the shuva he says, that before any of these Shailas are paskind, you have to sit with Yishuv Adas, and to speak to the doctors and to your rabbis. He says, he says over here at the end, that he had lots of stories, he says over here, you can't go ahead and make a light, such a psak, always, the mother's sakana, let's save her and let's kill the child. He says you can't do it. He says, because the fear of Gilus HaGedol, especially B'Shalas Ka'ela, the Madati Harbe Pa'amim, says of Vozna, because this question came to me so many times, I learned a lot of times, I've seen this question so many times, I've learned, She'roifim Mezalzalim Ba'oid L'Kvaya L'Suffering Nefashos, or She'ein Suffer Klal L'Klal. Doctors sometimes make a suffering nefashis, and therefore they do whatever they want. Suffering nefashis, and they end up saying do an abortion. And he says you can't do that. He says you can't do that. You can't make suffering nefashis. And he gives an example. Just high blood pressure is not called a sakana. He says. And he said I've come over kamarayas. I know doctors argue with me. He says just because lady had high blood pressure for a while doesn't mean you go ahead and do an abortion to save the mother. He says you can't do that.
I remember my mother Shom, she was expecting my sister, and she had varicose veins, my mother. She went to 2 specialists, and they said, you should have an abortion, because if you don't, you're going to die in childbirth. She went to 2 specialists, and she went to the Rabbi.
He
says, no abortion, you'll be fine, the baby will be fine.
Everything was fine, Baruch. Yeah. We're not saying doctors are always wrong.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah.
Rabbi's always right.
Rabbi's always right.
He was going on the limb.
No, if you ever bring a serious child, this happens all the time. If you ever bring a serious child, especially life and death trials to Rabbanim, they listen to what they say. What does the doctor say? And they go through and they first thing is, they know everything about it. But if they believe it, they feel after they hear everything that it's not such a sakana, they'll take that price a lot of times and say, leave it. So he goes through the Shiloh, and he says, and he brings down this Shiloh, and he says, Vosna says that he brings the Rambam as a raya that it's killing an Uber is a ma'aser b'tzicha. Killing an Uber is a ma'aser b'tzicha, and therefore you can't do it. But then he says, and even though Tosha says that, but then it brings other shittas that's not a ma'aser b'tzicha, and they give other reasons why it's also could be it's called a mazik. If you go ahead and you go over to the person and you give him a clap, right? You hurt him, you make him bleed. That's not a b'tzicha. There's a chiyuv of mazik. Do it because you're a mazik. Of course, it's not as bad as a ritzicha, but it's a mazik. It says, some people say that it's a mazik. That's why you can't kill it over. But then he says, even if you say it's only a mazik, still there's no heter to do it so easily. And I'll bring you a raya. Because we know one of the most serious isurim bayos is chilul Shabbos. Someone goes and has a mechal Shabbos, someone's mechal Shabbos for Hesia, he's not part of Klal Yisrael, right? Yeah, let's put aside the Shenish beheter, whatever it is. But somebody who's a mechal Shabbos for Hesia Hachas, he's doing it because he knows it's not supposed to, he's doing it anyway. He's not part of Klal Yisrael in every din. But the halacha is an Uber, even to save an Uber, mechal on Shabbos, even mechal on Shabbos. It says in the big chiddush. This that an Uber is an issue with tzich on it. So the person go through it, and they say within the first Arboim Yom, the first 40 days, it could be there is no issue with tzich. And Evozen has a whole thing over here. I'm not going to pass on every child is differently. He says if someone knows that Mubarak within 40 days, and there's reason to believe, real reason to believe that the child is very, very sick, the child won't be able to live well or live with major, major pain, whatever it is, he says within 40 days there's more of a heter to do an abortion. That's what he says. Don't take it as a psak. Every case is different. But he says within 40 days there's more of a heter to do an abortion. After 40 days, it's much harder to give a heter. So he says, not just, and even within 40 days, the halacha is, if you have to do chilul Shabbos, it'll not be mechal Shabbos. It'll not be mechal Shabbos to save an Uber within 40 days. So you see from over here that even though there's certain atayrim for abortions, but it's only when there's reason to be matter it. But on the other side, every nefesh in Klal Yisrael, even before it's born, means a lot. And you can't go ahead and just pass it that way. You see, it can be mechal Shabbos for the save an Uber. If you go through it, there's a list of like 15 reasons why abortion is also. I'm not going to go through all of them. I've told you the 2 main ones that are brought down. Now, I want to move on to another step. Now that we say an Uber is an Isser Tzichan, an Uber, for sure it's also to kill an Uber. So I want to move on to something a little bit different. Moshe Rabbeinu in this expansion killed the Mitzri, right? How did he kill the Mitzri? Shem Hashem. And he killed the Mitzri. So the Paiskim are very busy. Is there an Issa to kill somebody with Hashem? B'tzicha is also. It goes somebody, you shoot him, you kill him, Issa b'tzicha. How about b'tzicha through supernatural koiches? By saying Hashem. Is there an Issa b'tzicha on that or not? What would you say? Is there an Issa b'tzicha on saying Hashem? It's not again in the Maisa, right?
If you kill the person,
you say why not, right?
Yeah.
So Alan says it's not a game really. I'm not going to say Hashem. Right? What's in the gate? The Torah is
It
in the
won't
gate.
work anyway,
The Torah is in the gate every single person. That's what I want to bring out over here. The Gemara in Nida says, I'm sure that you know this Gemara, that if someone cuts his nails and it falls on the floor, and an Isha, a lady that's Muberes, walks over it, she's mappled the child. Loses the child. So, if someone did it, someone cut his nails and put the nail and left the nail on the floor, and a lady walked over it, and the kid, she was mappled the kid. Are you chayav b'ritzicha? Are you chayav b'ritzicha? Now all of a sudden it's negay. Now all of a sudden it's negay, right? So you can say you're a grummer. You may have a heter because you're a grummer, right? Now I'll give you another example. Okay, what's a grummer? What does grummer mean? Because it's secondary cause. Let's say you put it someplace. She for sure has to walk over it.
I'm sorry, you put what?
You put nails. You cut nails.
Oh, I see.
Someone puts a bunch of nails, and a lady, the embarrassed, is for sure going to walk over it. She has to walk over it.
It's still a situation because you don't know exactly when.
Yeah, but that's not the situation by grandma. If you know for sure it's going to happen, or you see a lady walking, you throw a nail under her foot, and she walks over it, that's not called grandma. That's not called grandma. You're chayav in such a case. Someone's walking and you stick a rock under their foot and they trip.
There has to be a chance that it won't happen.
Yeah, you're chayav. You're chayav of nezikin. Something called garmi. So a lady's walking and you take a nail and you throw it on the floor. That's by mistake even. It's supposed by mistake. Goes on the floor. You may be chayav. There may be an issue. So now all of a sudden it became the gay of this type of ritzikah. And uber, someone makes a lady be mapel and uber, he could be over on ritzikah because of it.
And you're saying that's similar to
Hashem.
Ritzikah by saying Hashem
Hashem.
because it's a grama?
No, not grama. If there wouldn't be a grama, they're both supernatural ritzikahs.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They're both supernatural. They're not ritzikahs that's a regular ritzikah. They go and you kill somebody. Ritzikah through Hashem. They bring a raya from Moshe Rabbeinu's PARSHA that it was a din ritzikah. Moshe had to think twice before he killed the Mitzri. If it's not chayav ritzikah, why do you have to think twice?
Well, this nail thing really isn't. Everybody holds like that.
It's a Gemara. No one argues in it. This nail thing. Nobody argues on this nail thing.
So why aren't people more careful?
I don't know. That's why I bring it to attention now. That's why I bring it to attention now. It's something you have to be very careful with it. People cut nails and they cut it in the I don't know, in the dining room, in the kitchen, wherever it is, not in the bathroom. If you go straight into the sink, it's okay. It goes down the sink, and no one's going to step on it. But if it's cutting it any place in the house and it goes flying, and we all know the way you cut nails, it go flying. It's a serious problem.
Everyone
holds that way. It's a Gemara. No one argues in the Gemara. No bar plukta. I'm not sure if the Rambam brings it down, but it's no raya. Because sakana is the Rambam bring down. You find a lot of things that are also b'shum sakana, and it's not put down Allah, not put down the Rambam. It doesn't mean we don't paskin that way. We do paskin that way. We paskin if someone cuts the nail and the H of Beres walks over it, it's a ma'aseh sakana. So a person has to be very careful. So what's the Eitzah? So it's brought down Allah over here. It says over here in the Mishnah Berurah brings it down from Magen Avram. So if someone does in a place, says if someone cuts in the Beis Medrash, the Shchichi Nashi, yeah, it's much better. So I wouldn't tell everybody to come to shul to cut the nails. But Beis Americans, where it's a man's mikveh, where it's also okay. Because ladies don't walk there.
No, but the problem, the man's a mikveh, a man will step on it, it'll go on in his shoe, then it'll go home.
Oh, okay, so we'll get there in a second. 1 second.
Yeah, that can happen.
So now, if it falls in one place, and it's moved from one place to the next, then already you're okay. Then already you're okay. If it falls in one place, and it moves from one place to the next, then you're okay. But here's the machlokes. But here's the big machlokes. What does it mean to move from one place to the next? The El Rabbi holds that if it falls down in one room, and then you went ahead and you blew around wherever you cut your nails so that it moved or dropped, it's not enough. It has to move from the room that you cut it to a different room. In the same room, it's not good enough. So in your case, where it got caught in the bottom of a shoe, and it's not a problem. It's already in a different room. That's not an issue. But as long as you're in the same room, the El Rabbi holds, it's a problem. So you have to be careful with these things.
What's the source for the Gemara for this? What is the source?
What's this for the Gemara?
Yeah, where did they come up with this?
I don't know.
Torah.
I don't know. It's a Gemara, yeah.
I mean,
It's a Chazal. It's a Chazal. No one argues
not
with
arguing
Gemara.
about it. I just
Yeah.
interested to know what the source is.
A lot of things in the Gemara are Sakonis, we don't know where they're from.
Shades.
We don't know where these things come from.
Shaded.
There's a few different reasons said why it is that way. But the Gemara itself doesn't say it. Achronim will go ahead and say reasons why it's only a Sakana for Isha Muberes, not for regular Isha. They go through it, the Achronim. Different reasons. But that's the Gemara. What the Gemara says, no one argues on. So therefore, a person should be careful when they cut the nails. They shouldn't leave it lying around, and they should make sure it's do it on a napkin or something. Every time after you cut it, make sure you find it. If it went flying somewhere, you have to look for it. If there's no Isha Muberes in the house, it means then you're okay. You don't have to worry about it so much. Because if someone comes, that's every person has to decide. When someone's living, all the kids are married, and they're home alone, and the kids aren't come for a couple of weeks. So usually, by the time the kids come, you don't have to make yourself crazy, because by that time those nails are probably cleaned up, or they're not there anymore. But if kids are around that are Muberes, you have to be very careful. You can't just let it go flying. And I don't know why people are makrim it.
Why they're not?
I don't know why.
Because they don't know it.
Is
I don't know why.
There's about washing after
Yeah.
nails as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Right.
There's a lot of different things said about cutting nails.
What?
You have to wash your hands.
The haircut also.
And how you dispose of them.
How you dispose of them, yeah.
Down the toilet.
I mean, if you burn them. Right?
Yeah, so the Gemara says you're supposed to burn them. The Gemara says you're supposed to burn them. The question is, is there a mile of burning it, or the burning is just like a timsa to get rid of it in a way that'll never come back, that's a lazy step in them. Flushing it down the toilet, some person will say today, is like burning it. Because it's never, it's down the drain, it's never coming back.
The nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to wash your hands after you cut your nails. Hands are tummy after you wash. That's why it's called Negelwasser. Where's Negelwasser come from? You wash Negelwasser in the morning. What's Negelwasser in the morning? What does the washing your hands in the morning have to do with Negelwasser? Negel is nails.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Why is it called Negelwasser? Because always when you cut your nails, you have to wash your hands. That's how I call it Negelwasser. That's where it comes from.
But it says to bury them, it's the best.
Yeah. Chassid to bury them. Right, you ever thought about it? Where does the name Negelwasser come from? You wash Negelwasser in the morning. I remember once my daughter, when she was younger, so we cut the nails, and so afterwards, go wash your hands.
So nails
once
can be very dangerous.
yes, 100%.
Almost like a weapon of mass destruction.
Correct.
That's not a mass destruction.
Correct.
No, sorry.
Mass destruction. Mass destruction.
So I cut my daughter's toenails.
I thought it was Negelwasser because the fear is to just wash
I thought it was simple.
Where, in the morning? No, in the morning you have to wash your whole hands.
It's 6 times, yeah.
Isn't it a minimum to the minimum?
No, in the morning you have to wash your whole hands.
That's why I'm just
No, this is wash the hair. The knuckles, not the nails. You have to wash the whole hands in the morning.
The whole hand.
Yeah. So my daughter once, after I cut her nails once, I cut her toenails. She says to me, Tata, do I have to wash my feet now? I cut the toenails.
Good question.
It's a good question, right?
Not bad.
So
How old is she? 3?
I don't know, she was 3 or 4 years old then.
Yeah,
So I laughed at her. I said, when you scratch your head, you have to wash your head. You don't have to wash your hands, right? But the truth is, I found afterwards,
But if you scratch your head, the hands are.
you have to wash your hands.
That's
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
But not your head.
Yeah.
Not
If
your
you,
head.
no, sorry, if you cut your hair, you have to wash your head.
No, but even if you stand here, if you sit here and you.
Yeah, you scratch, you have to wash your
Your
hands.
hands on.
Right, so when you cut your toenails,
Right.
what do you have to wash your hands for? So when you cut your hair, you have to wash your hands also, right?
Yeah.
So I rather saw afterwards one of the Achronim says that when you cut your toenails, you have to wash your feet. One of the Achronim say it, and then I found out afterwards that this Achron, I'm not going to mention his name, that this Achron, a lot of people did not hold of him, and they're not passing like him because of this psak. Because it was a wild psak. You have to wash your feet after you cut your toenails. There's no such thing. And there was one, that's another psak. So there were also 2 funny psakim in said, and therefore his psakim aren't on the skabel. But definitely when you cut your toenails, you're supposed to wash your hands.